Hey yo, GOAT format players, it's Skill Brown Magician here, and I have the Mataza Beat Beatdown replays. We're gonna get into it. I have a little collection to show for you guys. We're gonna start with Fusion Gate, but I do have the deck profile already posted on my channel, so I'll leave the link in the description. And it's more of an in-depth guide to the deck, and it also gives a card-by-card rationale as well. All right, so we're going to go into this, and he starts off with terraforming to go into Fusion Gate. Basically, he can banish monsters from his hand or field to just go into a fusion summon. And it's cool because he's actually playing a variation of the deck that I originally posted on this channel a long time ago. And I know this because he's running Mystical Sheep, which you can tutor out using Rescue Cat. So that's kind of like the combo. So it's pretty cool seeing this deck and playing against it. So I get Mage Power, and I don't have too much, but I do have DD Warrior Lady, so I'm just going to take care of Dark Paladin right now. I decide why not. So I take some damage, but now I'm going to set Saku and just pretty much set them all. Goes into Reasoning, and I just don't want him to hit Demok, but he gets Thunder Dragon. And it was funny because he sent it to hand so he could get its effect, but it's Reasoning, so it gets summoned out. So he has Thunder Dragon now, and he banishes, and he brings out Twin-Headed. But I had Saku, so I'm able to take care of it. And here I'm like, you know what? We're going to go in. He has no back row, and I'm just going to bulk up my Blade Knight now with Mage Power. He's now sitting at 4,000. So I'm just going to swing, and that's like taking a Solemn Judgment at full life points. So I have it also backed up with the Solemn Judgment, so I'm really just forcing him to have the play here. And he goes into Dimension Fusion, and I know that's going to be a problem, so I'm just going to stop it. And then he goes into Prima to bring out Twin-Headed. And I don't know why he sent Premature to the graveyard, but that's an equip, so it should stay attached. But I'm able to swing over and clear. And I poke him twice with Mataza, the Zapper, how fitting. And it's close, but not close enough. He just has 700 life points left. Let's see if he's able to break it. And he isn't. And that's game. So Mataza the Zapper coming in there and doing those two quick pokes for 26. Like I said, you swing directly with him. It's really nice. He actually does a lot of damage. So we're going to go into a Warriors Showdown. We're going to see how Mataza does against kind of a more standard Warriors deck. And here it's looking pretty good. I have Pot of Greed and Rhoda. So I get my Exiled, use Pot of Greed, and I have nothing that I want to put out on the field yet. And of course, I'm going to pay for that. He has Donzaloop, so he pokes me, and then to make it worse, he hits my Exiled, which I Rhoda for. So that was not a great play on my part, but I guess if I had either of those in attack position, he would have still dealt damage anyways. And I wasn't going to Solemn his summon. So this is really funny. I must have been playing late at night because I discarded 2 off of Donzaloop's effect because I thought it was like a delinquent duo or something. So I like handicapped myself. But we'll see how this duel goes. So I paid 1,000, and I hit his knock and his Torrential, which is interesting because Torrential is the one that he chose to discard. Set another Solemn, and I put him out. And it's funny because he chains Bottomless, but Bottomless, his requirements is that has to be 1,500 or more. But it's nice because in this situation, I bring out Mystic Swordsman level 2, who usually only has 900, but I boost him with Mage Power, and now he's able to swing over Donzaluk, because I just don't want to be hit by Donzaluk again. And now I have this little beat stick who's at 15 plus 900, so he's at 2400. And he destroys face downs. Not bad. And then he hits me with heavy, so I have to solemn that. And then he hits me with exiled. He has his exiled in hand. So now we're both at 2 cards apiece. And I don't really have any cards to Prima for. And he hits my Dust Tornado, fortunately, not the Solemn. And I'm able to chain Dust and get rid of his Bottomless. He goes into MS level 2. I take the 900. And I get Saku, so I'm just setting it for now. Just building up my resources. And MS level 2, fortunately, only has 900. Now I know I have to make my play because I only have 1,000 life points and I have Prima. But then, man, what could be better? Something that allows me to discard monsters to graveyard. Perfect. I go normal summon, Breaker. No response. Pop back row. It was a Mirror Force. Then, Premature Burial. Bring back the Blade Knight. Clear. Then poke him with that. Extra 2,000. Let's see if he could break the board. He goes Premature. Brings out Exiled again. Pops Blade Knight. Then I get Donzaluk. And I hit him for 3k. Now he's at 800. We're going to see if he can draw the out. But I'm going to use Donzaluk's second effect to mill 2 off the top of his deck. Both traps. This isn't looking good. But he only has Sangan. So we won that one. That was a fun one. Alright, let's check out Zombies. This one's a fun replay, and I kind of talked about this in the profile. So we're going to see how this deck does going second. He hits Graceful, he discards Knock and a Sure Priest. Sets 2 and a face down. And I decide, he has 2 back rows, so why not? And he has Torrential Tribute and Mirror Force set. What a crazy man. And I hit into his Magician of Faith, so he's able to get his Graceful back, and I don't have a response for that. So he hits Graceful again. He's digging deeper into his deck. And here is where he reveals the deck he's playing. He's playing Zombies. He hits me with the Creature Swap. But fortunately, I chain Ring of Destruction, and I just say no to that play because that would have been a really good one. He would have been able to clear Pyramid Turtle with my DD Warrior Lady, which he controlled, to special summon out a Ryu Koki and probably poke for another 24. But instead, he just follows up with the Book of Moon knock play to get rid of DD Warrior Lady, because that's really problematic for any Recruiter deck, because it banishes instead of sends to grave by battle. So here, this is why Sangan is nice. You just get to poke, and then you know that he's going to be sent off field, and you're going to be able to get a monster that you need. Here, I set call because I was really hoping that he would just swing over Sangan, and then I'd be able to call him back and just do more stuff with him and get another search and go for big plays. But he has Breaker, and he clears call before he clears the Sangan. So I kind of missed out there. It's a bummer, but I get Mataza the Zapper because I know that I have Breaker. So I have quite a few cards here. And I decide to just go Breaker just because I know he only has 1 card. And if he only has traps or spells, he really can't do anything with Breaker out. So it forces him to set. He can't clear a 1900 attacker. And perfect. Here we go. I bring back Sangan. We have 1900 damage on deck right now. Sorry, 2900 damage on deck. Then we bring out Mataza. He brings another 26, but then I equip him with Axe of Despair, so he goes up to 4600 attack with the 29. So I don't know the math right now. I'm not able to do it. It's like, I think it's over 7k, and I have the knock. So I'm able to poke. That's already 46, and then with Breaker's 19, that's game. So I like this deck because you can just suddenly go super aggro with it out of nowhere. Just because of the equip cards in Mataza just becomes this crazy beat stick. So here is against the deck that I really love and that I put a lot of work into, the Horus Gate deck. And we're going to see how Solid Supra 818 pilots it. And here, I had a feeling it was going to be a scapegoat and something else because I've done that so many times where I've set two and one of them is scapegoat. But I had to do it. I had to check and see. So I dropped the heavy. And the other one was a decree. And I decided I'm just going to start getting to work and I need to start clearing those tokens. But I'm backing him with double Sakus to protect my Blade Knight. He has nothing yet, so I'm just going to keep going. And I'm going to set that dust, and I'm going to set that one too. He hits me with the Giant Grenade, and that's fine. We're going to see what happens. He uses Snatch to take my Blade Knight to tribute off for Horus. So he's attacking me direct, which means that Horus is not going to be able to level up into Horus level 8. So I take the damage there. And I decide I'm going to stop the bleeding. I don't want this to get out of control. I just exiled Horus, but he's playing my body as a shield. He pays the 1500 to protect it from a destruction effect. Pretty dope. But unfortunately, he doesn't have back row, so I know that he's going to lose to Saku right now. He had no decree to protect Horus, and he didn't have King Dragoon out either, so I knew it was pretty safe. So I'm still just wading my way through his scapegoat tokens. And he finally hits one of the Trinity pieces. He draws 2, gets upstart, gets graceful. He literally goes through like all of the draw cards in his deck. Gets to thin his hand of 2 crummy cards. He has a Democ and a level 8. And then he goes Brain Control. Swap, Tribute, 2300 again. Okay. I bring out Blade Knight. And then I attack with Axe of Despair because now I'm shooting over it for 2600. He has no response. I figure he has nothing since it's a Horus deck, and I already saw that he runs Decree. So I'm able to swing over. He uses Monster Gate. Let's see what he gets. Let's see if it's going to be enough. He gets Cyberstein. He has 5,400 life points. He's able to activate his effect. He drops down to 400 life points. He brings out Gatling. Classic play. Tosses the coins. Let's see what he gets. He gets 1 heads, so I know that Blade Knight's gone. That's a bummer. Cyberstein is gone, which I'm okay with. Let's see if he gets all 3. He does. I get lucky, and he has to blow up his own Gatling Dragon. He has 400 life points. I'm hoping that's not Scapegoats, and it is. So I swing in, nothing. He's able to stall for longer. He gets a reasoning, and I say 7, and I hit it. That's how you know I know what deck he's playing. I know the ratios. I didn't see any 7s in there. I felt like it was pretty safe to call 7, and I hit it. I draw into Solemn. That's great. Take out another one of his tokens. He has reasoning. Sure. Let's call again. Let's see if I can do it. I call 7 again, but unfortunately he gets Horus. But fortunately, it's DD War Lady. He was willing to banish, but I had the Saku, so it puts him. He's kind of hurting, but I'm still just not able to clear these tokens. Haven't gotten into any of my Matazas. Yeah, so I haven't gotten Mataza. That would have been really helpful since he attacks twice. Still nothing, but I'm able to just knock his face down, which is Fusilier. Good to know. And I finally clear his scapegoats. He has no back row. And he scoops. He knows he has nothing. Just poking for that last 15. It's kind of a nail biter. Wasn't able to get it done with Mataza, but the rest of the deck functioned well enough to keep him at bay and still get the win, even without the MVP of the deck. All right. So this time I start with Mataza, but this guy's a madman, and he just sets 5 right off the bat. So I just go Mataza, and I'm gonna just want to see what does he have back there. Compulse, okay, he bounces it back to hand. Still have Mataza, nothing, but that's okay. He sets another one, so he still has 5, which I think is really funny. We're gonna go Mataza again. Let's see what he has. He activates the thing he just got, so it really shows that, man, he doesn't really have any good back row because he's forced to use Ring, and usually people will hold on to Ring for a long time. He has nothing else to clear, and he didn't want to take 2600 to the face, so interesting. We're gonna see. I set the knock as a bluff. Still don't know what he's playing yet. He passes turn, and I'm just gonna go Blade Knight. It's safe. Just poke for 16, and I set the Solemn. He's able to clear my Blade Knight with Tsukiyomi, and that's okay. Now I have a Light and Dark Engrave, but then he goes into Necro Valley. That was nice. Covers himself, covers his tracks. So now I can't banish off my Mataza on my Blade Knight. That was smart. And then here I decide, you know what? Let's go into Breaker, and I'm just going to pop a random one. I just want to see what's going on. And no response. He takes another 16. And I set the MST. I set the Saku. I figure he's not going to Heavy Storm himself with the Necro Valley on field 2. So he goes into Gravekeeper Spear Soldier. He does Piercing, and he's at 2k because of Necro Valley. But here, I get a nice 2-for-1 because I use MST to pop the Necro Valley, and because that was during attack, the attack goes through, but now he's at 1500. And he dies, and he loses 100 life points, and Breaker's just enough to clear him. So that was nice. Then I decide, why not? What are the 2 cards you have in hand? I'm just going to take them both. And he did have the heavy. So here he's forced to use his Mirror Force. So now I'm feeling pretty good. That's always good to see off of the board. And here, this whole time, I've been sitting on the knock, and I knew as soon as he said that, I'm like, oh, that's gotta be the spy. That's gotta be the spy. He's been waiting, and he has the answer to my answer, but I have the answer to his answer to my answer because I have Exiled Force, and I'm still able to pop the face down. And then I go for it all. Premature Burial. Special summon Mataza the Zapper. He has 1900 life points, 1 back row. I can poke for 26. And he has Compulse. But I have Solemn. And that's game. So a pretty exciting one. I thought the exiled counter to his My Body as a Shield was really fun. You knew if he got that off, that would have been bad. 2,000 defense monsters would have been an issue, but I was still able to clear through them. All right, this next one is Wengu's Stun. And here it's kind of cool because I don't start with a great hand, but he actually starts fairly well. He has Pot of Greed. We're going to see how I can play through this. I decide, I'm just going to dust one of them, and it's Light of Intervention, which forces me to only put my monsters face up, which if you combine that with Tiger King Wengu, that means that anything that's summoned, even if it's in defense, it has to be summoned face up, and if it has less than 1400 attack, it just gets popped. So it basically makes it so you can't have any flip effect monsters. So I know what kind of deck he's playing, but I still don't have anything. I get BLS, it's way too early. And I decide, you know what, I'm not going to take the 14. And he's a recruiter, so I want to just get rid of that effect. And he summons Spirit Reaper after. And here I get a little cheeky, because if you didn't know this, you can equip spells to your opponent's monster. So I equip it to his Spirit Reaper to activate his effect, which is whenever this face-up card's targeted, he just gets destroyed. So I sacrifice my Axe of Despair to pop his Spirit Reaper, and then I go into my Blade Knight play, and it's interesting, he discards his Jinzo to pop my Blade Knight, and I'll take that. That's okay. Now I'm up in card advantage. He draws his card, he goes into Kaiku, he banishes, and that's a bummer because I do have BLS in hand. So I'm kind of in a tricky position. I still haven't really gotten anything going. Blade Knight was really my only time I got to do anything. And now I'm just taking damage, hoping I can get an answer before he takes me out. Activates Light of Intervention, so he only has one back row, and I decide why not set all 5. He goes poke again. Sure, why not? I have 1200 to spare. Let's see what I draw. And I draw into Mataza the Zapper. Let's see what I can do. Summon. No response. He gives me the thumbs up. I activate Torrential. And they both go to grave, but he banished my Blade Knight, so I can't bring out BLS. He has Bazoo. I can't take the damage. I have to Solemn the summon. He has no more normal summon. He passes his turn. I go Giant Trune just to guarantee that my DD Warrior Lady wasn't going to get hit by anything. But he pops the Solemn. So I'm left with no choice. I just bring out DD Warrior Lady. And I got to attack. Poke him. We got a game. I go Call the Haunted. Special summon Mataza the Zapper. Does he have the response? If he doesn't, he does. He's able to pop Mataza, the Call of the Haunted to go for game. Not quite enough, but he's using all these cards up. And now, we're going to see what happens. He goes Heavy Storm. He heavies my heavy. He gets rid of his Light of Intervention. Sure. He has nothing. I don't draw into another monster. I can't finish the game. But it's 600 to 300. I set my knock. What does he have? He has Rhoda. What is he going to get? What is his answer? DD Assailant. He knows I can't attack in because they'll both get banished and I won't be able to use my BLS. What's going to happen? I draw that out and I snatch steal, and that's game. Crazy. Kind of a nail biter. And last one is against Monarchs. So this deck, it can definitely play through without Mataza the Zapper, but he really makes for some interesting plays. I summon here, and he just has the double set. He's playing enemy controller. He sets my guy. Not set, but he switches into defense. And this is interesting. He tributes off his Cyberjar for Thessalos, and I'm surprised that he doesn't, flip Cyberjar first and then go into his Thessalos. But each to their own. I guess he didn't want me to have cards either. So he paused my Exiled Force. He goes Brain Control. And this is where Mataza's secondary effect is nice. Control this face-up card on the field, he just can't switch. That would have been a cheeky play. He could have poked for 5k with double Mataza the Zapper attacks and his Thessalos. But I ring it. And I'm hoping he doesn't set back row, but he does. And it's just one, so I'm able to clear it. Because it's an end phase, he's not able to chain. So here, we're going in. That's why I love Dust. It just allows you to clear the way. I get a discard off of him with Donzalug. What a nice top deck. And I snipe his Blade Knight, which would have been able to attack over, and I'm able to just clear it. Able to do quite a lot of damage. He goes Pot of Greed. Then he goes Brain Control, takes my Donzalug, clears my Mataza, deals 100 damage to me. He's able to discard. And here, he actually discards the DD Warrior Lady, which spells the end. Because now, even though he tributed off my Donzalug for his Mobius, he actually put me in a position where I could use both. I go into BLS, and that's game. He has no back row. Alright, so that's the Mataza Beatdown deck. I hope you guys enjoyed these replays. There was a bunch of them. You can kind of see against a variety of decks, even against some of the decks that I kind of worked on. I thought that was kind of neat, and you got to see it in action. Hope you guys enjoyed, and until the next one, peace.